saying, I do this because I love it, because it's fun, and if I'm out there putting too much pressure on myself to win and always beating myself up, I'm taking the joy out of it. I've just got to go out there and do what I know how to do. You know, that's exciting to me when I focus on beating the block or beating my best self. That's when I feel like I've really arrived.
Martha King is your 2019 STIHL Timbersports U.S. champion.
Today we get a chance to catch up with the United States champion, STIHL Timbersports from 2019, and of course the reigning champion right now, Martha King, joins us. Martha, thank you so much for making some time for us. I know you're a very busy person, and we are happy to have the opportunity to catch up with you. Let's start from, I know a lot of people would like to know how you got started in timber sports.
Well, I first want to say thank you very much for having me. I appreciate your patience as we kind of get our schedules to mesh. But yeah, if you want to know about my history and my experience of wood chopping, I started off in Penn State competing on their woodsman's team, gosh, back in 2007. Yeah, so I was inspired by my father, who attended Penn State and studied forest science. And he was on the woodsman's team back in the 70s. And I just always admired my dad and really loved his passion for the outdoors. And growing up in that, it was just natural to follow in his footsteps. So when I went to Penn State, I walked right onto that team and never looked back.
All right, and you actually got your first start in professional competition in Germany. Do I have the story right?
Yes. So after graduating from Penn State in 2011, I moved to Germany for a year to work on a pig farm. And I don't really have issues with homesickness, but I thought just in case, I ought to surround myself with things that I'm familiar with, things that I enjoy. So the neighboring farm had a horse. They let me ride. I had my own motorcycle and got to ride around. And, I started to build up a community. I had some really wonderful friends, and friends from the States introduced me to fellow competitors in Germany, some who lived within a 2 hour drive. And so I was able to connect with them, do a little bit of training, and compete with them in the 2013 season.
All right. Well, and that brings you to 2019, and we'll start your saga all the way through the championship as you got ready for the qualifying event for the Eastern Regionals there in Cherry Valley, New York. Pretty good lineup, some pretty tough competition just in that qualifying event, right?
Yeah, we try to balance the pools as fairly as possible, but I feel like the East Coast is always pretty loaded. We have a lot more competitors who attend a lot more shows. We've got the colleges turning out a lot of really talented competitors, and it's really hard to send all those girls out west or to the Midwest. So yeah, it was a pretty heavy concentration of heavy hitters, I'd say.
Yeah, and do you get enough opportunity for good, solid competition other than the STIHL Series in other shows that are in your area?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't say that they're in my area per se. I've got to drive generally 6+ hours to get anywhere to compete. But I see a lot of these girls who compete in the STIHL Series on the circuit in New York or at Hayward or Webster Springs, a lot of different shows, and even in Australia. So there's a lot of fierce competition, and it's good to build up.
Oh, yeah. Well, in this Cherry Valley qualifier, you actually finished second, I believe, to Alex Miller there, which shows how tough the competition was. But you're on your way, and you were headed. Were you excited to go? Now, the second year that the women are also on the big stage there, in their rightful place, most people would say, at the national championships. Were you excited to get there?
I was very excited, and probably more relieved than excited, because it's a very stressful experience competing in the STIHL Series. It really is. It's very emotionally draining.
Well, let's take a look at the first of the 3 disciplines that you competed. Let's look at the stock saw right now. You were going up against Tracy Henning, I believe, in that one. And a pretty good cut, but not your best, right?
Oh, nope. I remember thinking, just relax, go out there, do what you know how to do. And the more I told myself to relax, the less I relaxed. My hands were so sweaty. It was so hot. And I just really couldn't get a good grip on the saw. And I felt like I had no control, no feel. And it was a pretty awful out-of-body experience. Normally, you want to shut off your mind and let your body take over. But I tried to shut off my mind and nobody was there to take over. So
very few people will claim the stock saw to be their favorite discipline. Are you among those people?
I cannot claim it as my favorite. No, I mean, it's definitely very challenging and I like a challenge, but it's one of those things that, oh no, look at that.
Too many random things can happen in there, I guess.
Yeah, there's so many things that can go wrong. And I feel like I can control my chopping a lot better. So yeah, just too many unknowns in this case.
Well, you cut a 12.85, good enough for 6th place. So with only now two disciplines remaining, you have a bit of a mountain to climb right there. So on to some disciplines now that maybe are more to your liking. We're going to go right from here into the single bucking. Tell me how your single bucking had been during the course of the year. Had you been improving? Did you feel confident?
You know, it's something that I've been working on for a few years now. There are a lot of really talented women, and if I want to win, and if I want to win all arounds, I have to improve the sawing. So I spend a bit of time with JP Mercier, and I train a lot with Mike Esch, and Mike Slingwin sometimes shows up to training events. So they all definitely worked with me a lot to get me to this point where I'm more relaxed using the full saw. You know, I had really great equipment this year. I actually ended up getting 2 brand new saws from Tuatahi. And I had Lawrence O'Toole wedging for me, and he's somebody that I've known for quite some time, and I feel very comfortable and very confident with him there. And so I was able to just relax. And, you know, I already thought that I was out of the race. So basically, I was as relaxed as I could have been, and I just wanted to have fun, see what my gear could do, see what I could do. If I could put down one of my best times, great. If not, you know, I'm always working to improve. And thankfully, my goodness, that was probably my best cut ever.
That was great. The freewheeling approach sometimes is always the best, a time of 12:44, and you take first in that, and that puts you first on top of the standings. And we come to the showdown, the final discipline, and you're going up against last year, the defending champion, Aaron Lavoie, and it's pretty much down to a matter of who wins this heat. You know, in many respects, is the one who's going to stand atop the medal stand. So a lot of anticipation for this one as we get ready for the underhand. I know you like the underhand. I know it's one of your favorites.
Yep, that's really what got me hooked on wood chopping was the underhand. When I first tried it in college, no other girls could really do it or really do it very well. And I just had a natural ability and a natural strength, I guess I would say, probably from growing up on the farm, working with my dad, dragging tree branches and, you know, just building up a strong core. So, sorry, I'm just getting excited watching this again.
It's fun, isn't it? Did you feel confident by the time you made your turn? Did you feel like, yes, I can get this done, I can win this one?
Well, I think, you know, I'm not super good at math or anything, but somebody told me as long as you don't mess up the underhand, you finish first, second, even third,
okay,
you'll probably have enough points to win. So basically go out there, take your spare axe, don't start too soon, sever the whole block, you know, don't cut your foothold, go out there, relax, just cut your block. And so I knew that that's all that I had to do, so I couldn't focus on what other people were doing. You know, even in the single buck, I knew that I was up against some really tough competitors, and I wanted to watch them cut, but at the same time, I don't want to get in my mind what they've done and think, ooh, I've got to beat that, because I can only work with my own ability. So yeah, I just sat by myself and just tried to stay calm and yeah, just revel in the fact that I got to chop in my favorite event on a big stage in front of a lot of people and, you know, show the world what's possible.
And do it for the national championship to boot. And so that was the way the story ended there. And tell us what the feeling was like as you sort of exult in your victory right there along with all of your fellow competitors.
Pure elation, really. You know, after the stock saw run, I thought that I was out of the race. And yeah, it was just a shock to me to be able to battle back like that, to have things just fall into place. I'm very blessed.
Well, you're the defending champion now, and your reign is extended because of all these circumstances that we're all having to go through now. And I have to ask you, all of our lives have been upended a little bit. I trust that you're doing well. Obviously, you're a person who's working, so that's good. I'm staying busy, working on my house and gardening, riding horses, working on little projects that I've kind of set to the back burner because I was always away wood chopping every weekend. Yeah, right. And you are training on specific discipline-specific training, or just general fitness and tone?
Yeah, when I feel like I've got a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, then yes, I cut an underhand, I cut a standing. Standing is new. Well, it was supposed to be new this year, and I really need to put the time in so that I can compete very well in that event as well. So yeah, as I make time, as the weather improves, I've been cutting a little bit more. I've got a lot of wood stocked up right now, so I'd love to have a training camp, have a bunch of friends over. That'd be really great. But yeah, we'll see how this all turns out.
Well, on the subject of training, and I don't want to get any trade secrets out of you here, but what is your nutritional approach to being in top form?
I eat what I want. I don't know. Pretty much I shop the perimeter at grocery stores. So I go for fruits, veggies, and a lot of protein, and then, I don't know, sweet potatoes, rice, but try to limit any sweets intake. I guess my cheats would be chocolate milk and Cheetos.
What?
But
chocolate milk and Cheetos.
Yes.
Is that what you have on competition day?
I do, actually, because I have trouble eating on competition days. I just get stressed out, and that's one of my go-tos. I always feel comfortable eating Cheetos. But I work so hard and I train so much that I can pretty much eat whatever I'd like, but I stay away from soda. I really limit alcohol intake. Just drink a lot of water, drink a lot of chocolate milk, and fruits, veggies, and lots of chicken.
And Cheetos. Do some of your axe handles have a sort of an orange hue to them?
Yeah, it helps my hand slide a little bit better.
Very good. Martha King, has been a delight and a lot of fun reliving that 2019 national championship. And once again, we salute you and still honor you as our defending champion. So it's been fun spending time with you.
Thank you very much. All right, I appreciate your time.